All right, well, we are back with another Trofold Paranormal stream. Welcome, everybody. First thing, I wanted to let everybody know that yes, Laura is here today, but she is not feeling very well. She's kind of lost her voice a little bit. So she's here, she just won't be talking. So she'll be assisting us with showing videos and things like that, but she's still going to be here with us in spirit. Now, last week, Chris wasn't present because he went to a disclosure conference. Tell us a little bit about that, Chris.
Yeah, so we were at the Cosmic Contact Conference in Timonium, Maryland, and put up by Brandon Niblett. He actually did a very good job at it for a first year of doing it, and the energies there were quite high. At any of these events, you get this really massive energy going, and when it ends, you start to go through a withdrawal. But at the end of it, I decided to do a ghost box session from our hotel room. And for anybody doing these or having a ghost box with them doing these, hotels are ripe with paranormal activity. And there were several ghost occurrences that happened in that hotel in the middle of the night. Got bugged by a few of them. Noises, banging, stuff like that. Even though some of those were residents, some of these were indeed ghosts, doors shutting, things of this nature. You wanna get some recordings. A hotel is a place to do it. Very ripe with activity. And before we show that, that's all I wanted to make sure people knew that's where this was. And it wasn't in the greatest neighborhood, mind you. So we were getting a lot of the riffraff from there, but some of the EVPs that came through were pretty funny on the Ghost Box. We get some of the humorous ones, and I have to say some of the direct responses that were gotten there were pretty awesome. Uh, yeah, if Phantom, if you want to play that,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
right
we
ahead.
can. I want to kind of ask you a couple of things. So, how many
Oh
people
yeah.
showed up to the conference?
Oh, yeah, there was at least, I'd have to say, public-wise, there was at least 300 people that came in. And for vendors, there wasn't as that many vendors. There were probably 50 vendors there. So it was in a small, like a gathering room like they have at the hotels where you can you can have like little get-togethers and whatnot. And and people were coming in right off the street coming in there. And the turnout was about maybe 300 people going in there, getting sessions with people, buying stuff. I didn't make as many sales as I would have liked, but I did sell some things, and we got most of our information out there. So I'm hoping that for the liftings, hoping that took. But yeah, it was a fairly good conference for someone's first conference, like Brandon's. He did incredibly immensely well. The first ones don't always go that well. He right out of the gate, he nailed it. So he knew the crowd to go for. He already had a customer base and a friend base. So from the previous conference that we went to in Florida. So yeah, he hit it off pretty well, and we made some new friends there. There was a couple. There was a person that we were sitting next to her her son actually is a sensitive himself, and normally he wouldn't talk to anybody. He came right up to us and talked to us, played games with us. Everything. He was 9 years old. Saw guides, all of that stuff. So he came talk to us. The mother was very happy to meet us, and there was even another healer that was right next to us that was talking to us about my trench working work and everything. So yeah, it was actually pretty cool.
Interesting. So were most of the panels were they regarding alien life forms, something like that?
Yeah, most of it. One of them was more. One of them was a channeler. Then also me as well. We did some galactic historical stuff. We did some just about what the lifting was and everything, and I did some channeling there, which it was kind of funny. I had a couple people walk out during the channel. I don't remember everything that was said, so all I remember is some couple people that got up and left. Everybody was stayed when I opened my eyes back up. Yeah, the whole room was full of people. So there were more people in there than one had been there before. But most of the speakers there was a NASA speaker there that was talking about his time with NASA and dealing with stuff about aliens and stuff like that. And then there were a couple other people there that were talking about secret space program, and then you had a couple people there talking about their psychic work. So it was a scattering of several topics actually.
So, in particular, what was your panel regarding?
Oh, but ours was essentially what the lifting did about my work that I do energy work on people. Some galactic history, like we made sure to add some of the GIC stuff, the Galactic Interversal Consortium stuff in there, so it got even time. And we did a big channel at the end that went through some of those topics and some of the like what some people had questions and Q&A during the channel. So that was basically what ours was.
Okay. So, did you have a favorite panel that you went to? Was there like some other speakers there too?
We didn't get to see a whole lot, but there was one that we worked with that was actually pretty cool. She did her own little psychic read, like some of the TV psychics do. Um, I believe her name was Alicia or Alicia. So she Janae, excuse me. Sorry, I got the name wrong. It was Jinsei was her name. Sorry, there was another one named Alicia there too, but she was the one that actually went around and did read. She wanted me to actually film the whole thing for her, so I went around and did the camera work a little bit for her. So she saw I had camera experience, so she wanted me to do that. And she did her talk at the very end of the conference. Ours was at the very beginning, but that was the one of the best speakers that we actually got to see there. We didn't get really to see anybody else. We had to man our table. So that's about what we had to do.
So, do you see these people like regularly at these conferences? Like, have you seen them before at other conferences or anything like that?
Only the head guy, Brandon, the one that headed it. We saw him at the 2025 Disclosure Now conference in St. Pete's, Florida. But a couple of the others we recognized from a couple of events online and also the other conferences we've been to. The only two of them, the rest we didn't know. A lot of them were brand new to us, and they were local to the area. And Timonium is just outside of Baltimore. That's 4.5, 5 hours from here in Virginia Beach. So so we didn't recognize three-fourths of the people that were in there, except for the couple of them that came with Brandon. But yeah, the rest of them were strangers. But they actually being beneficial because we ended up meeting new people.
Well, yeah, that's definitely neat. I will say, like, I'm not always familiar with these disclosure conferences. Is there a reason why they don't seem as heavily advertised? At least does it feel that way to you?
Yeah, some of them are actually on the downcline. So most people want to do their stuff online, and I always have to tell people it has to be an even scattering of both. You have to have the physical and the computer, and the internet. So yeah, they don't advertise as much as they probably should. I mean, they go through Facebook and their own social media, but it just doesn't get out there like it should. It used to be back in the 90s, they would have billboards, things of this nature, but nowadays it just doesn't get the attention it should.
Yeah, that's a shame because I mean it sounds interesting for sure. Yeah, if you want, we can go. We can show them your EVP session or your Ghost Box session, Laura. If you want to bring that up, we'll take a look at it.
Leaving the Contact Conference in Timonium, Maryland. We're in the hotel room. A great conference. This will be added on to the show. This is Ghost Box time here. Just a quieter one, just for like a minute or two before we leave. And there was some things here in the room. Got harassed by ghosts the night before last. A little bit. One was fairly persistent. A shorter black guy was fairly persistent. There was a tall woman, lighter skinned woman with dark hair that was screwing around. And there were a few up on the upper floor up here because of an incident that took place up there. So that somebody else told us about.
Forgot to mention the cops were there
We'll
too.
negate that for the
Wait.
moment
And
and
pause
just
it for a
go in
minute.
this one.
Wait. Did you say the cops were there?
Yeah, I forgot to mention the cops had showed up because there was an incident above us and to like the left where the cops were doing something upstairs because there was some drug thing going down. I told you it was in a bad area,
Oh.
so
That's
you know,
great. That's fantastic. Because I'm like, well, as soon as you said cops, I'm like, what did you do, Chris? That was my first thought. And I can't help but notice too, like I'm looking at your hotel room. So your TV was just on a random desk?
Yeah, that's how they have them. All the hotel rooms were that way in that particular Holiday Inn. It was a Holiday Inn there. So yeah, most of the time when you travel, they don't look like that. They're usually in their own
Well,
thing.
yeah,
But in that,
no, like I've never seen that setup before. That's so weird. Normally, like the TV's like on an actual entertainment stand or on the wall. Nope, this looks like a monitor on a desk.
pretty much, yeah, I noticed. I
Right.
noticed that. But yeah, I thought that was a little weird too.
All right, we can go ahead and continue. I was just wanting to know about the cops.
One area. As I open this ghost box circle within true benevolence and no conflicting agendas, I'll even do a shorter version of the law of one. The law of one. When one is helped, all are helped. In unity we all stand strong. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is, I ask that only as the highest good be done. I ask that all negative energies and entities be swept away as of this moment in time. I give thanks that this is done. So be it, and so it is. I had to think about the new version of this, folks. That's why I had to pause. So, it's changed a tad since we started using it. So, I will get that in print at some point, the new version. So, and on the site. So,
Yeah, can you pause it real quick, just because I
No.
want to. So
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me a little bit, Chris? I'm kind of curious what you were just talking about there.
Oh yeah. The reason we do that is because we notice that if we have an open circle and we do the whole law of one blessing, that it minimizes or eliminates any form of blowback or any form of retaliation energetically. Any form of just any form of blowback. And I mean, it doesn't mean certain things don't happen, that certain things don't, energetically kind of coalesce here at some point. But we got a little bit after the trip, but not near as much. But I always caution opening circle, closed circle because of that fact. It basically keeps all the activity and keeps all of the what you're doing in the space you're doing it in, and not necessarily spilling out into your life somewhere else. That's why we do that. Some people think I'm being too anal retentive when I'm doing that, but that somebody accused me of being like overly like autistic for some reason, so we're doing that. But I'm like, no, I'm doing that because we've come across some pretty ugly crap. So I made sure to say open circle, and then at the end I do close. And the reason I say the true benevolence and no conflicting agendas bit there is because you want true benevolence to be around, but you want it to be cohesive to the goal you're trying to attain. You don't want it to be something that could be benevolent, but it's not what you're looking for.
Okay.
So that's why we do that. It sounds weird. The vernacular sounds strange. So that's why I usually have to explain that one. But that's what that means.
Okay. All right. I was just curious about that.
the question. What did you think of the conference, the people, and the products? I will start.
Xbox. Gaming. FM.
Did that?
I have no idea what that one was.
What?
No idea.
We'll just let it go. I'll ask after the video.
Hi, friend. Who's this? We're marching.
Weekend
Who is it we have here with us?
What? What? Okay. Nope. I'll ask after. I'll ask after. So many questions, Chris.
Focus mainly on the conference, please. Oh, somebody called me a retard. Thank you.
Well, I mean,
Last couple questions from our normal benevolent entourage. Lane and Vessa, any of them. Levick, any messages?
what?
I love you, man. One thing, what the power of the product level for any of the people answering? Coins especially. Thoughts? Can we just get along? Okay, yes. Who's that wanted to get along? From Sedona. Am I correct? Previous recording. Okay. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you. Okay. Obviously, at the time of this recording, I don't know what's being said, except a few keywords stood out. The word retard was prevalent there. So, I will say now, as I close this ghost box circle within true benevolence and no conflicting agendas as of this moment in time, I also declare that nothing will follow us home that is not for our highest good right now. So, ending this recording at 7:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, January 12th, 2026. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all, that was extremely entertaining, to say the least. I've got so many questions about some of those. The first thing, though, I definitely want to ask you, and this is just, that side of me. What frequency were you using? Were you using AM or FM?
FM.
FM. So is it possible that a lot of those could have just been actual radios, channels that had come through? Just kind of a thought.
Well, the fact that some of them were actually answering my questions, too. They were literally in line with what I was saying.
Yeah.
That, and I recognized a few of the voices from the channeling that did too. So, I don't know all the names. I just recognize voices. Yes, is there a possibility that some of them do also a bit of bumblebeeing, where they actually will use the radio station to talk? Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Which that's fair. I know that because there's a lot of, when it comes to spirit boxes, there's a lot of, everyone's kind of has their theory about how it works. So, and I know that's one of them where you're not necessarily hearing the ghost voice itself. Some people think it's just manipulating. It's coming through at the right time, or it's manipulating the frequency to cobble together what's already out on the air. So
Mhm.
that is a possibility. But I was just curious because I know I personally prefer to use AM myself. But yeah, anyway, a lot of the responses were very interesting, to say the least. Um,
Yeah.
do you have any ideas of who you think some of those spirits could have been if they were?
Yeah, the ones I labeled the name of, like that one that said Elena on it, that's actually one of the beings that I do channelings with. I that's why I tend to label them if I know who they are. If I can actually interface and see who they actually are, then I'll label who they are. Like when Isaac would do something on there, I would label it. Obviously, somebody was making fun of him on there, so
Y-
because you clearly hear that. But yeah, I don't really know all of who was on there, but yeah, some of those responses though had nothing to do with me whatsoever. Nothing to do with us at all, and also had nothing to do with the conference, which that's why I tried steering the conversation back around to the conference on there. I tried to bring it back around to a topic because they tend to, if I don't corral it, I've noticed it tends to go off on a tangent and people just act like, some of them just act like, you know how when a reporter is giving a report and there's somebody behind them making faces and going, "Ugh," and doing stuff like that, that tends to happen if I don't bring it back around. But yeah, some of those responses were just plain nuts. Like the anti-Semitic one that was on, I was like, why, you know? And even with the interfacing I do, that one had my head scratching. The one with the whole breast comment that had me scratching my head, and that was a being I talked to, so I had no clue what
Yeah,
the hell
you
that was
know,
about.
something I've learned in the time that I've been doing this, and really kind of digging deep words, Phantom, uh, into paranormal stuff, is that ghosts will say some of the most random shit, and the more EVPs and things you pick up, the more perverted they get too. My
Yep,
my
I
kind
know.
of people, but it's just kind of like, wow, you ghosts are down bad. Let me something fierce. Let me tell you. All
Oh
right.
yeah, some of the most perverted EVPs that I've ever gotten have been some of the best ones that I've ever gotten. So at some point maybe we should do a compilation, but or I should edit up a compilation or something. But yeah, it's been nuts. In Vegas, it was nuts too.
Oh, well.
Especially.
I what not surprised with Vegas.
Yeah,
Um,
no, me neither.
so I think so that was definitely interesting. I look forward to seeing what else you post on your main channel about the conference. I imagine you got quite a bit of video.
Yeah, there was we recorded our talk and the talk of the person I mentioned before, I didn't say, but she wanted it recorded on her own camera, so that's going to be on her website. If we get the link, I'll post it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, our talk is actually on there. We did the opening blessing, like you heard in that, at the conference, and then went in straight into our talk. So you're gonna see it at a weird angle. There were so many people in the room. We had to put the phone at a really weird angle there to record us. But at least this time you could hear us clearly, unlike the last conference we did. But yeah, that's the video that's up there on my YouTube at Christopher S. Jacobs. Is the lifting episode? I believe it's 323, and that's the one from the conference.
Interesting. All right. Well, I think we'll go ahead and kind of move on to mostly what the stream's going to be about. But yeah, I definitely wanted to hear about that disclosure conference. So we're going to
Oh
talk
yeah.
about haunted objects. That's what we decided we wanted to talk about. And there's a small little TikTok that I found today that I thought was kind of relevant. If Laura, if you want to throw that up there, we'll take a look at it.
To much worse. This container, found among the belongings of my supernatural hunter ancestors, held the dark magical and cursed items they guarded, requiring continued upkeep and eventual replacement as the items
Oh,
burned
it's not
away
coming
and
up. There we go.
inside. Recently I retrieved another item to lock away, but this idol has proved the tipping point. On a follow-up look, I found the box destroyed. While making that check and finding the chart box, I recorded a few EVPs that I will enhance and mark.
Should be able to see it. Can't. What the It's burned to shit.
This item was left for me. I'm told it is protective. Things have gone from
Interesting. I'm curious, like, how, like, they got just so. What I'm gathering from the video was that items just kind of burned up on their own. I guess I've never heard of that happening before.
Yeah, I've heard it in like tales, but I've never actually seen it happen. It is incredibly difficult for a ghost or even something demonic to do that. I know it's straight out of like Phasmophobia when you see that, but I've only heard of it happening. I've never actually witnessed it before. So except in the cases of like say candles, something will knock it over, or in the case of an electrical outlet or a box, transformable box or something, they'll spark it or something and start a fire. But beyond anything that is already going, like some kind of accelerant or some kind of like just some medium like electricity, I have not actually seen that happen. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, and it looked like he was just kind of storing them away, like in the wall or something. I don't know how good of an idea that is.
No, that's a horrible idea, actually.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, we got some other videos too. Whichever one you want to throw up, Laura, doesn't matter to me.
Dripping with hand late night.
Very easily.
Yeah, like that's one common thing I've noticed about cursed objects is 9 times out of 10 it's some form of a doll. So something that's already got a human form seems to. So I wonder if like spirits are more drawn to like something more humanoid shape because they're trying to get back into our side. That's kind of just
too.
But yeah, that's something I've noticed. It's always dolls, and they're always the creepiest looking dolls. You'd think they would at least pick something else that actually looked decent.
Yeah, like with that one, for instance, yeah, that's pretty damn creepy. That other one, that Letta doll, was probably the creepiest.
Like, okay, so if I die, like, make sure someone gets a statue of Goku, so I can at least like haunt so I could be Goku in the next life. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, okay. You heard it, everybody. Get him a statue of Goku. So,
okay, don't make it a statue because it can't move. It's got to be an action figure so it can move.
Okay. Yeah, I do know with dolls though that yeah, they do capture the soul energy because they're a human analog. They're similar to us. But you're right. They do need to not pick the creepiest things that have been created either.
Right. All right, we'll continue.
20s.
So dolls and chairs. They seem to be the most common thing.
Yeah, chairs, I've noticed, yeah, those tend to be, for the most part, I've seen, if people get enough people focusing on dolls too, it tends to also form a tulpa and a Gregorish energy around them, which is a mass thought form, which gets these things to do it, that people are actually doing it themselves by the mass focus. I've noticed that could be said for anything, but I've noticed with cursed chairs, there tends to be a common story. You sit in it, you're cursed. Dolls, it tends to draw ghosts and demonic life forms into them to possess them, to make them move constantly. But also with any paranormal activity, I notice it really strengthens, especially on battlefields and such, where people focus on it quite a bit. Speaking of focus, but the whole point of that is I wanted to show that video is creepy dolls, like the Isle of the Dolls in Mexico. All this is, I got to ask people this question: why are you keeping this crap? So just I would basically kill it with fire. It would get a Viking funeral, and I would set that energy free right on the spot. I know you want to see the thing move. Yeah, I'm fascinated too. Would I want to see it move on camera? Yes, but there comes a time where you have to let it go, and you have to let that energy move on.
Now, one thing I wanted to bring up too, like I can't remember who they said the name of the first doll was, the one that was at the Museum of Shadows. Laura had actually just mentioned to me that she'd seen that because it's in Omaha, and at some point we're going to be making a trip there. So when we do, I'll definitely see. I don't know if we're allowed to bring cameras in or anything like that, but we'll definitely talk about our experience sometime on the show. But she's actually seen that doll.
Interesting.
The one that had the human hair. Like, why would you do that? Why would you make a doll with that? That's like you're asking for troubles. That's the equivalent of the Necronomicon being written in blood on human skin.
Yeah, and a giant voodoo doll, basically, where the hell so has human hair. These things are people. There's spells and incantations attached to this crap, and if you use human hair and blood in anything, it's a recipe for disaster. At any rate, blood rituals, hair rituals, just don't, people, just don't.
Yeah, like I said, that's the one thing I'm noticing the most of all is it's dolls and chairs, mostly dolls. And in fact, when they were showing the Museum of Shadows there, did you see how many dolls it was?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
A lot of them.
That's insane. What is it with people and creepy dolls? I don't ever get it.
Yeah. With creepy dolls, I knew somebody that had a whole basement full of these creepy dolls that they were all haunted type ones that belonged in that museum. And it was really creepy. And this person would not part with them. They were so controlled by the activity, they would not part with these things at all. They thought that it was just disrespectful to do so. I'm like, okay, why? Please get rid of them.
Right. Yeah, I know we got a couple more videos. I think one of the other ones that we had kind of set aside we were going to check out, I think it was another compilation video about cursed objects, but I think it also mentions a lot of the same ones this video did. What I what I really want to talk about is, so Mindseed. I like watching his stuff. I found his video where he opens up a divot box. You're familiar with what a divot box is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I actually kind of want to check that out and kind of react to it, because this particular one I haven't seen, but I know that he's done some in the past, and then he opens them up. He gets them on eBay or wherever, and then he opens them up in his house and then gets activity.
Yeah, go figure. You open one of those and it gets activity. Go figure. Dybbuk's, which are jinn, love to be in cabinets, bottles, and or lamp type things. That's what you're setting free when you open one of those.
Absolutely. Yeah, Laura, if you want to grab that one for me. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So you're probably wondering, what is a Dybbuk box? Apparently these are boxes with demon spirits trapped inside them, sealed with candle wax, and they're being sold on eBay. Now, what are the chances that these things are real? Probably slim to none. I tried talking Bria into joining this video with me, and if you're familiar with my channel or you've seen our dark web mystery box video, you know how she felt about being there in that situation. So you probably understand why she didn't want anything
She does not
to do
look thrilled at
with
all.
me checking out a demon box being sold on the internet. All right, first things first, what would a scary video be without the head cam? Let's light this candle. Now the mood is set to be nice and spooky for you guys. I'm pretty sure this is fake, but there's always that what if in the back of your mind. What if there really was a spirit?
Yeah, and those are his
and
famous
I have
last
it sitting
words.
in my house right now. I also received a little letter inside the package, so let me read this to you guys so you can get the full understanding of what happens when you order one of these items. Dear buyer, thank you for your purchase. This Dybbuk box was put together by a practicing witch of the black arts. Please be warned that tampering with a Dybbuk box can result in demonic attachment, so I highly recommend if you are buying this item, you are adding it to your collection and not tampering with it. People who have opened Dybbuk boxes in the past have had results affecting their personal lives in many negative ways. Please be aware that Dybbuk boxes are not toys. They contain evil, dark, and dangerous energies to have around you, your household, or life. Even bringing it into your home can cause unexpected activity, occurrences, and attachments, so please handle these items appropriately. It is unknown what spirit or demon was trapped at the time of the ceremony, so please take this letter seriously. Please do not open. From the Hunter of Souls. Ooh. Alright, so here's what's gonna happen. So the first thing that I'm gonna test out this box with is a EMF detector. This is a ghost meter, but it actually does detect electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic fields. So I've tested this out. It works on the light switches on the wall. It works on like plug outlets. This thing will pick up electromagnetic energies. And if you're holding it in the air, if it starts beeping while it's in the air, it's said to say that there is some kind of electro energy around you, and that's what's making it beep. All right, guys, so this is actually my first time trying any of these tests on the box. I wanted to include you guys and do it at the same time with you. So let's give this a shot. Let's see if it picks up any kind of electromagnetic readings out of this box. So here we go. The meter is now at 0 on the EMF reader, and I am going to scan around the box. And if it starts beeping, that means that it's picking up some kind of electromagnetic energy.
Not surprised
Nothing
considering
so
the
far
box is sealed.
Like I assumed, it's pretty much
Yeah.
just a box.
See, right where the opening is?
Yeah.
See, right there is where I'd stop. I'd be like, nope, I'm not going to do it.
What I want to know is why this person's selling them to begin with.
Apparently, people collect them,
So
these
that's
things.
pretty interesting. This thing is very accurate, and I am a little bit nervous right now because it's reacting to this box. Right there, right there. It's like dead center.
Would you
to the
open
box.
it?
And the thing that's really like creeping me out is when I move the
No,
box.
I would burn.
Especially
stops
after getting that
detecting it,
reading?
so I know it's not like any of my camera equipment or anything.
No.
Check this out. Stopped. And when I put the box closer, there it is again. So that
That is
means
interesting, though.
either there's some kind of electric current inside of here or some kind of technology that could be making this beep, or B, there is actually some kind of energy. Well, there's definitely an energy coming from this box. Oh, and you know what? Let me show you guys like underneath the table so you don't think there's like something stuck to the bottom of the table. That's why I got this thing on, so I can let you guys see what I see.
Well, yeah, but that wouldn't matter because if he was moving the box away from it, you know, it would still
Yeah.
be going up.
So test
Now,
one out
is
of
something
two
like
so
this easy
far.
to
Maybe
fake?
some
Yeah,
kind
you
of
can put something in the box.
Doesn't mean
Very
that
much
it's
so,
beaming in
yeah.
the box.
Yeah, it is easy to
Doesn't mean
fake,
that there's a
but at the
spirit in
same
there.
time, I don't know why people would want to collect gin in the box. Basically, I don't. That I have a hard time
Gin in the
understanding.
box. That's gonna. So now we're gonna make our own brand of these things. We're gonna call it gin in a box.
Gin in a box.
But yeah, no, I would say like, yeah, you could easily fake something like this, but I think now I've been watching this guy a long time, and he usually keeps it pretty straight.
Mhm. Yeah, it seems pretty legit. He seems pretty legit. I've seen him before.
Now these are his earlier days before he does mostly reaction stuff now, but this was kind of in his earlier days. All right, we can continue on.
It could, but as of this moment right now, I'm just going to assume that there's something in the box that would be triggering the EMF. I'm very curious as to what is in the box now. I'm not 100% as to whether or not I'm going to open it. I'm going to try the next test out. More than likely, I'll probably open it because I really don't believe there's anything that's going to haunt me from inside this box. That's just me. But I do want to know what's making the EMF detector go off. So, all right, next up, we're going to try the good old spirit box for a moment here. Hopefully you guys can see on the overhead view what's going on. Just turn this guy on. Are you angry that you've been locked inside this box for so long? I heard something right there. If this is a spirit trying to communicate, do you want to hurt people? That was pretty clear.
So, my question is yet again, why open it?
I heard
Right.
some whispering. I'm definitely gonna have to analyze that in the post editing and see what those whispers were saying. But I did ask it, if this is a spirit, do you have intentions of harming anyone? And I heard a pretty clear yes. Obviously, when I edit, I'll play it back a couple times to see if we could hear it a little bit more clear. Okay. So now the big question is, what is inside this box? You know, these radio frequencies, they're not really that accurate. It was pretty scary when we were in the Penhurst Asylum doing it, but, you know, it's just scanning through radio stations. It's not supposed to pick up any radio stations, but there was definitely a lot of voices coming through on it just now, so I'm not really going to take that as, like, okay, that means that something here is trying to communicate, but there's definitely something in here. Can you guys hear that? Alright guys, I can't take it anymore. I need to know why this thing is beeping when it's next to the box. I'm gonna crack this box open right now, and we're gonna take a look inside together and see what is making this thing beep. There's gotta be some kind of technology in here. Hopefully it's not a bomb. Cutting the wax right now. Okay, the wax is broken. It smells really bad. Why do all these boxes that open gotta smell like shit? There's a crystal in here. Is this what was making it beep? No? Why'd you stop beeping? Alright, so this thing is not beeping anymore. What the fuck? The air conditioning is off right now. That plaque has been there for a few months. Guys, there is nobody in this room except me right now. I mean, look, you can look all around. Here's my hands. There it is again. Whoa. Yeah, fuck that. I'm out of here.
And that's what happens when you fuck around and find out.
Right.
All right, successfully in the car. I am heading to my brother Chuck's house for the rest of the night. I am not comfortable staying in my house at this moment in time. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? How do you explain the EMF detector going off? It was picking up some kind of electromagnetic field inside the box, and the minute that I opened the box, it was not picking up any kind of energy at all. My YouTube plaque started moving, like clear as day. It literally fell off the fucking wall. I can't come up with a logical explanation in my mind as to how that could have been moving.
Oh, I can.
Nothing that I could think of would make that seem normal.
Yeah, when someone opens a Dybbuk box and is a dumbass. So,
Right.
yeah.
So I guess that it does beg the question. I because I have followed that particular YouTuber for a while and watched his stuff. I'm just curious to know what you think. Do you think that it was legitimate what he just did, or do you think he did fake it in some manner? Because there's some factors I do want to throw out there. Like, one, obviously you're going to get views for doing something like that, but two, like, if you bought something and you're seeing all these signs that something bad about to happen or there could be a possible truth to it, would you still open the box even for views?
I wouldn't for views, but some people would. Some people would be stupid like that. So now seeing that crystal that was on the inside, that's selenite. And selenite is used for disentangling and also dispelling demons, or dispelling or transmuting and cutting cords and things of that nature. So to put that in there, that I knew that particular stone he pulled out there, yeah, I would have chosen that stone if attempting to create something like that, which I am not. But trapping is a no-no. You just want to get rid of the jinn or the demon that you're wanting to get rid of. Somebody's obviously summoning them and putting them in there. Do I think he perpetrated a fraud here? No. Based on what I saw there with the crystal, and I could feel the energy through the screen. So I could feel the pressure on my chest right there. There was some legitimacy to that. Do I think he's a dumbass for doing that? Immensely. Because even just to get views, is it worth screwing some things up in your life? No. If you don't know how to get rid of the thing, don't bring the thing into your life wantonly like that. If you don't have the expertise to get rid of it, don't allow it in. Or don't allow it in ever. Actually, that's just my policy.
Now, I did find it kind of interesting how as soon as he opened it, that's when the EMF reader stopped. Now, I've gone back and I've watched that video a couple times. I'm like, okay, maybe he did a cut right there to make it look that way. And I didn't see any obvious cuts. And I've watched that video a couple of times now. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's legit. Now, that happened a long time ago. I don't know what he's done since then. I think there was once, I think he posted a series of videos at some point later where he documented all the activity that kind of happened in the house afterwards. But whatever he did, he seemed to have gotten rid of it. If this was a faked video, then he did a really good job.
Yeah. If it would be fake, which I don't think it is, I could tell intuitively and energy wise, it was not a fake. It's just that I would not open one of those ever. To do that, even though I know how to get rid of jinn, and people used to send me cursed objects and stuff like that to get rid of, to like burn it, and it wasn't one of these. It was a mask. Masks are the same in the same ballpark as Dybbuk boxes. Never have any of this crap around. Masks are conduits. Dybbuk boxes are traps. You don't want either one of those.
Definitely not. I know we got one more video we can take a look at. Now, bear in mind, I believe it will probably repeat some of the stuff from the previous video, but I think it's got some other different stuff. We can take a quick look at that. And if we come across something in the video, Laura, that we've already seen before in the previous video, we can just fast forward to that part.
Man, a while. Allow me to assist.
In fact,
with that.
it's the same guy.
I've
Even
been attracted to the weird and the
Yeah.
occult. There's just something
Interesting
about
we
scary
both chose the
stories
same
that
guy.
intrigues people. And most scary stories are fiction, so people take comfort in the idea that the things within the story never existed. But what happens when they actually did? Well, not all horror stories are based in fiction, and some of the objects that make those stories so scary actually exist in our world today. And while it might be tempting for many people to simply dismiss these objects as the work of superstition, the documented circumstances surrounding some of these objects are way too compelling to deny that something more sinister might be at play. So without any further ado, here are 10 terrifying cursed objects that actually exist. May sudden
about this one already. But
timely
yeah,
deaths, sometimes in 1972. The
Cause financial
according to the
ruin.
Maori belief system, any man who died in battle
Oh,
would leave his
yeah,
soul
the
behind.
negative being. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But negative beings can cause financial ruin. Like if you have enough of that around, can drain your finances, or what people just refer to as like draining their luck. But also the silver vase. Yeah, vases and bottles and lamps, things like that are all gin. Dybbuk boxes, all gin there. Silver can entrap something. I just to say get rid of it. Don't trap it. Masks are bad too, like this one that we're seeing now.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I know it's like one common thing I've noticed too, like there's a lot of people out there that love collecting these haunted objects, or people will get an object they know is causing a problem, and then for whatever reason, just refuse to let go of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we happen to know one of those people that might be listening to this right now. Not kidding either. But yeah, I with masks, I've had experiences with masks. I've burned every single one of them. Except for a big one I had to mail off somewhere. But yeah, people, if you get somebody offers you a gift that's a mask, a chest, a box, a vase, please don't take it. Of any kind, the statues of any kind, don't take them. Even if the person seems to mean well, because you're bringing in that curse with it. And if you happen to have a haunted cabinet or something like that, like one of those big boxes, just burn it, no matter even if it has historical value or not. Just take a picture of it and then burn it. I always recommend that to clients.
And it does always seem to be like I noticed that like the most common thing is antique stuff that's really old. Like I haven't heard of any kind of modern objects being haunted. Like oh, I got this secondhand iPad. Dang it, there's a spirit attached to my iPad. I've never heard of anything like that.
I've heard it's rare, but I have heard of it. Like if you do destroy an antique one and something's trying to jump to something, to like kind of like a fish in an aquarium, he has to be put in a bowl somewhere, kind of thing. I've heard of that kind of thing happening, but it's not common. It's if you've destroyed something that it was originally in, it jumps to a different one and it looks for something that was close to what it was in, either a mirror like the haunted mirror or like the Dybbuk box or what have you. They even had an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode years ago about that, where it was something that jumped from something to something else to preserve itself. And it was a very long time ago, but I do remember that being a theme of one of the episodes. And I have seen it myself. It's just not common. Can they possess technology? Yes, but they prefer like the antique stuff, but if they have to, they'll jump into something that's close by. It's only more like an emergency type of thing.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. I think we've gone through all the stuff we're going to talk about. Might go ahead and end the stream here. I'm noticing YouTube's having some streaming issues. I've been seeing a lot on my side, so it might be a good time to call it a night, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was fun tonight, actually.
Yeah, it was fun. Don't really know what we're going to talk about next week, but I'm sure we'll get something figured out. I definitely do want to go to the Museum of Shadows sometime in the near future and definitely talk about my experience with that. So maybe that will be something we'll do in the future. All right.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
All right. Well, thanks for coming to the stream, everyone. Everyone have a great Friday night, and we'll see you next Friday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.